show you what it looks like against the cloud. You can't watch the experiment or whatever's going on. We never saw anything like this when we were growing up. My mother, who first saw these when we were back, first seeing this in 2002, said, never saw anything like this. We would have noticed. Somebody would have been taking pictures of this. Someone, see, it has to be new because there were no pictures of this. So this is why I invented this particular...
Things in the sky in the morning, these tic-tac-toe patterns all over the place. It's got to be more than just jet fumes and trails, huh?
No, it is. In fact, let me give you the history of this thing, how they started it. You know, they originally started this back in the 40s and the 50s, and they were spraying silver iodide, and that was relatively harmless to the environment compared to what they're doing now. But then they started doing more and more cloud seeding and weather control, and then the military decided they were going to start teaching their Air Force academies how to do this. In fact, they actually have chemtrail classes in the military. You actually pull up the journals, if you'd like, online. And what happens is they're spraying these things through the jet nozzles that go into the engines, and they're creating nanocrystals, and they're being put into the air for the weather radar and for the scalar radar. It creates a particulate plasma that can be activated through microwave energy, such as through piezoelectric crystals or through electric optical properties that can be done through like HARP. You can use HARP, which is microwave energy, in what's called a phased array telescope, or not a telescope, a antenna, George, and you can actually cause this stuff to glow and become incredibly hot, and you can actually heat up a section of it up to 10,000 degrees in just a few seconds. And the military want to be able to do that because they have an incoming ICBM missile. They can actually heat this 10,000 degree pocket of air up in front of the missile, and they can actually cause it to explode as soon as it hits this 10,000 degrees. It'll just literally melt the missile, destroying the military vehicle. Strontium and barium and strontium can take these chemtrails into the field of scalar physics. This allows you to up-concentrate energy at any spot you want to. For instance, you can have nuclear bomb-type explosions using chemtrails by creating scalar waves. By discharging, I'll explain to you what those are in a second. By discharging scalar fields, you have massive, massive explosions, and that could be what happened in 1908 when Tunguska had that massive explosion. A lot of people believe that Tesla had actually activated the Warfair tower back then, George, and actually just tried to broadcast energy into the North Pole, overshot the North Pole, hit Russia, and wiped out tens of thousands of acres to 2,000 square miles of forest was completely destroyed when he discharged a scalar wave, which is what some people are thinking happened from the Warfair tower. The energy can be actually manipulated in the piezoelectric fields. This is what they're spraying with these piezoelectric crystals with the barium and the strontium and the aluminum. You can actually freely move through the field, but it can be triggered by external inputs. You can actually move energy to any place you need to put it. You can make it vibrate. You can turn it up to heat. You can create electromagnetic energy or sound. This is back where the intelligence community comes in now, because they can use sound to make external voices. People, they can hear voices. You heard that they've got this term called the voice of God. They can hit you with certain generated energy frequencies by using this technology and make you nauseous, make you want to vomit, make you suicidally depressed within minutes. The military, again, they use the rockets to weather control Earth properties. They can also trigger earthquakes, George. That's one of the things that people don't understand. There are a lot of earthquakes that are being triggered. They're being triggered at the 10-kilometer depth, and the way you do that is just simply plate tectonics. The earthquakes should be evenly distributed throughout the country, but they're not. And this is what's crazy. What you'd have to do is send an 11 hertz signal through, and it can modulate and trigger earthquakes through the use of scalar fields.